welcome to another episode of Tastebuds. I'm your host, Neisha Rogers, and today I'm so excited. I get to be a part of this amazing experience here at Lazy Betty, which is a modern, elevated dining experience here in Candler Park. And joining me today is the executive chef, Aaron Phillips, as well as the chef de cuisine, Austin Getzman. And I'm so excited because you guys have really curated a really cool experience. Talk to me a little bit about Lazy Betty and what people can expect.
All right, well, Lazy Betty is a tasting menu only restaurant, and what they can expect is to have an amazing dining experience that's inclusive of global eclectic food and flavors from all over the world. But what we do here is also somewhat casual in the fact that we don't have white tablecloths or a dress code. So it's really about the food, creating an environment where people feel welcome, and then also we want to make sure we hit all the points of service without being too stuffy.
Yeah, okay, well, speaking of the food and what people are going to experience, today we're going to cook some amazing things. Chef Austin, what's on the menu for today?
So we'll start it off with a blue crab and tomato salad. And then we'll go into our corn and black truffle pasta. And then we'll finish it off with our crown roasted duck.
Sounds amazing. All right, so let's get started.
All right, cool. So we have a couple tomatoes here that we'll start. We're just going to kind of place these around. We have some blue crab meat that we've picked, and we've set that in a dashi that's very heavy in bonito. So bonito is a smoked and cured fish. And then we're kind of just dropping these beautiful little pearl onions, a little bit of gooseberry. The tomatoes themselves have been glazed in a tomato stock that we've thickened just so they're nice and flavorful. A little bit of these gooseberries, some cucumbers on here. Keep it nice and crispy, nice and fresh for summer. Then we'll finish this off. Chef Aaron's grabbing the gel that we make. This gel is made of nak cham, which is a Vietnamese condiment.
Wow.
A little bit of fish sauce, so it's a little fermenty. It's got some funk to it, but it complements really well with the dashi, the crab, and the tomatoes. And then I'm finishing with a little bit of fennel, because that anise flavor works very well with these tomatoes and crab. It brings it nice and sweet, makes it really well-rounded.
Yeah.
And then these beautiful little guys on this tray right here are called sea beans.
Sea beans.
And they taste exactly like you would think. So they kind of taste very oceany. They're very saline forward, nice and crispy, nice and fresh.
I love it. It looks amazing. And again, this is
The blue crab with berry snow tomato.
there it is. All right, so now moving on to our hot app. Super excited about this. I love pasta. Talk to me a little bit about this dish.
All right, well, for this dish, we're going to be doing a sweet corn ravioli. Okay, it's got a super intense corn flavor, filling on the inside. We also juice the corn, reduce it down, and fold back into more corn to make a corn pudding for the outside of the plate.
Okay.
Comes with a little bit of charred corn that's been buttered and seasoned. And we've got a wheat lacoche puree, a little bit of corn froth over the top, and the pasta itself is glazed in a corn truffle.
What makes a pasta a good pasta, by your definition?
Well, usually the pastas that Austin comes up with are bangers, super strong part of his game. And then we want to make sure that one, the pasta is made from scratch, make it in-house. All right, we want to make sure that the flavors that it's going with are seasonal and appropriate. And then we also want to make sure that when it comes to the cooking of it, we get it to the right cook itself. We definitely don't want to overcook any of our pasta. We're going to have a little bit of that al dente bite. So moving along right here,
Okay.
we've got our corn that we can put down on the plate.
It smells good. Wow.
Just want to make sure I get off the excess liquid.
Yeah.
We have purveyors from all over the place. Most of them are local. We like to work with some local farmers. And then when it comes to our proteins, we like to use some guys from up north, D'Artagnan, and farmers and fishermen as well, on a lot of our seafood that we're getting these days.
Yeah, I love that. That looks good. And then what's that topping?
So this is the corn froth. So we take a stock that we make from the cobs of the corn after we kernel it. And then we take that, emulsify it with a little bit of cultured butter.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit more funky than just your average butter. It's been fermented a little bit, just to give a little bit of unctuous flavor. Then that finishes, and then we drop some nicely roasted chanterelles, another really awesome summer highlight here in Georgia.
Oh, those look really good. I'm excited. Wow.
And there you go.
That's incredible. All right, so now let's get into the main for today. Tell me a little bit about that and what we can expect.
All right, so today for our main course, we're going to be doing duck. It's a crown roasted dry aged duck. We dry age it for 2 weeks. This duck is also coming from D'Artagnan, and it's coming out of New York State.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the purpose of the dry aging is not just to add flavor, but it also allows the skin to get super crispy. And we get a nice thin layer of fat underneath, and the rest of it is just crispy goodness. You can also see, as Austin's scoring it up, that it's got some nice hash marks in it as well. Get it even more crispy and rendered.
Yeah.
And now for the plate, here we have a mushroom miso ring on the plate. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the legs of the duck. We have our confit. It's been cooked down in a nice duck jus.
I love confit.
We'll go ahead and fill this vol au vent, which is just a very nice puff pastry there.
Yes.
All right.
I love that. That looks amazing.
We'll come back to that in just a few minutes.
Okay.
Then on the plate we have some blackberries. These have been pickled. All right, and a little bit of Banyuls vinegar. Blackberry is, I mean, it is seasonal fruit, and we just feel like it goes really well with the duck itself and the miso flavors. And we're also doing a couple roasted chanterelles on the plate here.
Yeah. Oh, that looks good too.
All right.
Oh, that's nice. So you've been doing this for a while though. What would you say you've learned as far as like when it comes to your culinary experience that you've kind of applied everywhere that you've been as a chef?
What I have learned is that it's not all about the food, it's about the people.
Okay.
And so learning how to work with people, learning how to become a good leader, I realized that respect is really the name of the game, because you can't do anything yourself. And I think that when people feel respected, they feel empowered, and their creative, attributes really shine. So, I've learned a lot along the way about that.
Yeah, very good.
Back to the food over here, Chef Austin has seared some foie gras. He's now crusting it in chive and a little bit of Maldon salt. So our foie gras that has been crusted now goes on top of our vol au vent that's stuck with a duck confit. Austin has so delicately placed this beautiful duck on the plate, and you can see it's cooked to a nice medium rare / medium. And if you look here, you just see a very thin layer of fat.
Yep.
That's what we're looking for with a super crispy skin. That's been achieved by his excellent cooking process as well as the dry aging that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
One more element to finish the dish is the sauce.
Ooh, okay.
Austin, you want to tell us what's in here?
So this is our blackberry Banyuls gastrique. Banyuls is so it's this really nice vinegar that's aged in white wine barrels for a minimum of 5 to 10 years.
Oh wow.
Well, after they age that, we get the vinegar, we cook down some blackberries with a little bit of sugar and then that vinegar, and we just cook it down until it gets the texture.
Oh wow. Can't wait to try that. That looks incredible. Okay, I think all of this looks amazing and incredible. I can't wait to take a bite.
And we certainly will. The only thing that's missing from this meal is the drinks.
Of course.
And lucky for you and us, we have Conrad Claude Helms on board as our beverage director. He's amazing behind the bar, creating amazing flavors. And also, I want to give a shout out to Austin right here. Thank you for consistently providing Lazy Betty with your creativity when it comes to the food and the plating.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll see you at the table.
Let's go chop it up.
All right. Okay, so you can't really have an elevated dining experience at Lazy Betty without also having the amazing drinks, right? So with me now is Conrad, who is the beverage director. Talk to me about the pairing of the drinks and how they kind of make a cohesive experience with the meals.
Of course. So starting off, you got to pair your drinks with something, right? So we're going to pair it with our first food course today. That's going to be our blue crab and tomato salad.
Very good.
So you've got a lot of really neat spring, summer, vegetal flavor profiles that are coming to this plating. You also have a little bit of a funky kind of fermented element with this plating. So we wanted to, one, reduce the amount of waste that we have. So we're going to use the trim that they use in this plate to create the tomato. We're going to take that. We're going to ferment it into a syrup that we introduce into the cocktail.
All right.
We're going to let these botanicals come alive with the introduction of gin, as well as pepperoncini liqueur and thyme liqueur, just to create this really beautiful acid-driven cocktail to pair along with those nice vegetal bright spring summer.
All right.
Tasteful.
So the first cocktail is called what?
The first cocktail is called Tomato Fight. Just to make it quick and easy, we're going to go ahead and pour this cocktail in. Now this does have all of those elements in it that I previously spoke on in terms of that Bigelow thyme liqueur, the Piolo and Max pepperoncini liqueur, as well as that gin and a little lime for some acidity and balance.
Fantastic.
Right? I'm gonna take that, give it a good shake. You do want to make sure that you're incorporating everything in here, so we are gonna give it like a figure 8 shake just to get it shaken really nice and hard here.
Figure 8, let's see it. Wow. It's a lot of shaking.
Yeah, it ain't too bad.
That's good.
I'm gonna take this. We do want to double strain so that there's not any smaller particulates in the cocktail, just so that the mouthfeel here is a pleasant experience for the guests. So make sure we get all of that out in there.
Wow. And how long have you been doing this?
Well, with Lazy Betty, I've been fortunate enough to be here for about 2.5 years, but I've been bartending around for the better part of the last decade.
Wow. Fantastic.
We're gonna have a little basil coming in here. Again, we're just making plays on that relationship between acid and more of the kind of bright vegetal herbaceous notes within the food and as well as the cocktail. And then just to give it a little kick and accent the spice that's coming from that pepperoncini liqueur, we're introducing a Calabrian chili oil over the top. So this is gonna affect the flavor.
It looks incredible. Fantastic. Tomato fight. Oh my God. What is happening right now? Wow.
Next up, we're gonna have this beautiful corn raviolini.
Okay.
You know, obviously here we're talking about very familiar flavor profiles, just coming alive in more of a concentrated aspect. So you've got butter, salt, you've got a little truffle element in here as well as some chanterelle mushrooms.
I love it.
What we are going to be pouring it in is a tulip. This is a beautiful glass here to kind of direct the aroma of the drink itself into the nose, so you can get all that nice aromatic. So what we're doing is we're introducing lemon, 4 Roses bourbon. You've got a little bit of peach ginger shrub, just vinegar, peach, sugar, and ginger. We'll let that sit overnight. Those vinegars and that sugar interact and pull out this really nice kind of sharp, twangy peach element. So that's what we're going to incorporate into this cocktail.
All things that I like.
Oh, who doesn't like peach and who doesn't like bourbon?
Yeah, my kind of guy.
Well, and it's funny too because when you think bourbon, a lot of times you think, oh, you know, you're thinking bigger tones, oak, kind of cinnamon, dry style kind of cocktails, and you forget that bourbon can be really, really enjoyed in the summer. This is one of those that'll definitely remind you of that.
Wow.
Same thing here because of that lemon inclusion. If you want to get a nice, good, hard shake going, we're going to introduce a little black walnut liqueur in here. So you got bourbon, a French peach liqueur, that beautiful peach shrub I was talking about earlier, a little lemon, and some brown sugar sage simple are going to come together.
How much thought process goes into, like, you know, the elements that you're talking about with the pairing? What is kind of the thought process behind creating the right pairing with the right dish?
That's a really good question, and I think that process is different for different people. I think here, the way that we hold the food in terms of what we think and how highly of a regard we hold it in, we want to make sure that our cocktail element is up to speed with that. We don't want to have, you know, kind of subpar cocktails with really excellent foods. So that process is very intensive and kind of dynamic. So we've got a little bit of crushed ice here, and then what we're going to introduce to garnish here, just a little mint, right? We're going to have that right up here at the top.
Oh, beautiful.
With those oils expressed, and voila.
Wow. Oh my God, I think it's a combination of you in the drink. Like, this is exquisite. It's fresh, like you said. This cup kind of makes all the flavors come to the surface, and it's incredible.
I'm glad you like it.
And this is called the
Peach Please.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can call it a patio pounder if you want.
I'll go with patio pounder.
There you go.
For the win.
Because the flavors here are so bold, this is our final savory, right? This is the last savory dish that you'll have here. You gotta make it count. All of those things are really punchy, so you wanna have a drink that can kind of stand up next to it. So for our garnish, it's very simple here. It's just a little beet dust. Now you may be asking, how do we get this beet dust, Conrad? How do you achieve that?
Let me ask, how do we get this
How
beet
do you
dust,
get the beet
Conrad?
dust? Well, and I'll tell you how you do it. What you want to do is we're essentially beet infusing vodka here.
Okay.
So after the beets are infused into the vodka, we'll take those beets. We want to reduce waste, like I was saying earlier. So what we'll do is we'll actually throw them in the dehydrator, dehydrate them down, and then blitz them into what's called a powder, just a little kind of beet powder. We're gonna dust that around the edge just to reinforce that kind of natural beet element that is in this cocktail. We're gonna take a toasted coconut aquavit. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of that beet vodka, and then we have a house-made grenadine from scratch that we make that goes in as well, just with a little lime there for acid again. All in all, beautiful, beautiful cocktail. And you'll see, one, visually it's very, very pleasing with this plating and this pairing. So we're just gonna do a 4.5 ounces here on this cocktail.
Okay.
It is boozy.
Yeah. How long did it take you to master the figure 8? Like, how long did it take you to get that right?
About 1 million drinks approximately. After the 1 million mark, you get it down. And then look at that beautiful color here coming from the pomegranate, the grenadine element, as well as that beet infusion into the vodka, right? It's the color of beets, as well as a nice grenadine.
Yeah. Oh, that looks fantastic. Let's see. This is pretty. Oh my gosh.
It's a lot going
No,
on.
I'm like, it's amazing. You're the drink master,
Thank you.
I think.
Well, I couldn't do it without somebody to taste them. Otherwise, I'd be standing back here bored.
Yeah, no, it's
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you so much. I can't wait to also have it along with the food. So Conrad, man, you're the man. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am extremely excited to finally taste the food. Thank you, Conrad. Oh, wow. Okay, so this was the tomato salad.
Yeah, that's tomato salad with the blue crab.
Very
Set in a gelled dashi at the bottom. Nice variation of vegetables and herbs. And then we have the nakcham gel to finish it off. Give it a nice pungent twist.
Let's dig in.
All right.
I kind of want to try a little bit of everything. Okay, you get the tomato on there as well. That's really good. Everything kind of works together like you described when we were making it. It makes me think too, with this experience and you guys having, you have a 4-course and a 7-course?
That's correct.
Okay. With that being said, what is kind of the intention behind the expectation, I guess, with each course that everybody can kind of experience here at Lazy Betty?
All right, well, the 4-course actually allows for people to come in for a less amount of time. So if they don't want to commit a full 2.5, 3 hours to the experience, they want to get in for an hour 15, an hour and a half, it allows that. It's also a slightly lower price point. So, you can enter the brand at a little bit more accommodating level.
Speaking of the price point, I don't know if you guys still do this or not, but when it comes to the service wage, you guys have kind of a different philosophy with that. Can you speak on that?
Yes, well, that philosophy, we've been rolling with that since we opened here almost 5 years ago, but it's been adopted or used by others, I'm not sure exactly who, but it's been used, and we do basically what's known as service charge. So the menu price that you see is what you actually pay. Service is included. We have it on the website and printed on the menu, and we even talk about it during the meal and to remind people. They can leave additional gratuity if they choose to, if they really like their service. But basically, for every dollar that comes in, 20% goes to the staff.
When I think about you, though, and your upbringing, because you started off this restaurant, Lazy Betty, with Chef Ron, and you guys both cooked together in New York?
We did.
Okay, so what was some of the, would you say, inspo to bringing what you guys learned in New York to here at Lazy Betty in Atlanta?
All right, well, Ron's from Atlanta, and we'd actually looked at, some spaces up in New York City, but, they were cost prohibitive, and he's from Atlanta, and his family was already in the restaurant business, so we ended up coming down here, and what we wanted to do was we wanted to do the type of food that we had learned up in New York,
Okay.
and the type of food that we love, we wanted to bring that to Atlanta, but we wanted to do it in a more casual and inviting manner.
Okay.
So we kind of talked about that a little bit earlier. So we definitely we shied away from things like dress code or white tablecloths. We want people to feel like they're eating an amazing meal, but also maybe doing so at even like a relative's house.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the vibe. Also, as far as the way staff are treated and all of that, we kind of wanted to get away from some of those traditional elements of the fine dining
Yeah.
sector. So we like to call it elevated
And I think
dining.
that's so interesting too. So what would you say is the definition? How do you draw the line between when something is fine dining and when it's not?
Well, we like to refer to what this restaurant does as elevated dining, but usually I would say it's it's ingredient dependent, presentation dependent, price dependent, and also how many courses. For example, like if you're doing 7 courses, usually that would mean you're having an elevated experience.
When you were kind of just learning how to cook and be in the culinary industry, who would you attribute some of your current day success to? Like, did you have a mentor? And what was that day like when you finally realized, wow, I can cook?
Well, I knew I wanted to be a chef since I was like 6 years old. I was watching Emeril Lagasse on TV, and I just always liked watching that show. And then my mom was a really good cook, and she was always cooking late night. So I had trouble sleeping. I would go downstairs, and she'd be like making braised lamb shank at 1:30 in the morning for I have no idea what reason.
Yeah.
But I would always just tag along with her, and she just taught me what she knew. And then as I got older, I started making my own recipes and getting into it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. This looks incredible. So this was our main. Talk to me a little bit about this experience and kind of the reception that most people have when you bring out this particular cuisine.
Well, I think that, a lot of people, when I talk to them throughout their meal, like if I get to a table and they're sort of in their mid-courses, they talk about what their favorite was, and I always know that we've got the duck coming in our back pocket, so I'm like, all right, I know hold your thoughts on your favorite dish till this one drops. Because when people see the foie gras, I think seared on top of the puff pastry, it's just a really impressive look. Especially if we're saucing table side, you have that element as well on this course. So it is a really exciting finish to the savory.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's beautiful. All right, so I want to actually try this because I have been waiting for this moment for a little while now. Are you going to dig in too?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll go afterwards.
Okay. And when you guys have people, because obviously everybody's extremely talented here at Lazy Betty, but when you guys are looking to, bring on new chefs to the kitchen, what qualities are you guys looking for in a chef?
Willingness. Willingness is really, really important. First of all, just good vibes overall. I like to try to make sure that we're hiring the type of person that's going to get along well with others. Yeah. All right, let me see what that's all about. You didn't even hit the foie gras yet. So I like to try to get a little bit of everything in one bite if I can.
That's really good. You get it all in one bite?
If I can.
All right. Maybe I should try that too.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks so good.
Or as close to one bite as possible.
As close as possible? All right. What do you think it is about duck that people like?
It's not chicken. Something a little bit different. People don't eat it all the time.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit more obscure than, like, say, a steak when people go out for a nice dinner.
What does a bad day as a chef look like for you?
You try to find solutions and stay, like, solution oriented.
Yeah.
When a problem or a situation does occur, it's like you have a choice. You can freak out and start blaming the environment or people or whatever, or you can say, okay, what's the next right thing to do? So as long as I just keep doing the next right thing, eventually I'll get to go home.
Okay, so now I want to get into maybe a little more fun side, getting to know your culinary vibe, I guess. So we're gonna do a segment that I call rapid fire questions.
Okay, let's do it.
You think you can handle it?
I can handle it.
Soup or salad?
Salad.
Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Last meal on earth.
I want to take a bite out of a whole white truffle because I've never done that before. Might be disgusting. I don't know. But I want to eat it like an apple. I want a dry-aged ribeye. All right, that is some truffle potatoes and like a really, really good beef stew.
Midnight snack.
Ice cream,
What ingredient are you most afraid of?
dragon fruit,
What is your go-to instrument in the kitchen?
my chef's knife
Favorite way to eat an egg?
with my mouth.
If you could duke it out with any chef, who would it be?
Emeril Lagasse.
Bam!
Damn.
What is your spice heat tolerance?
Not a lot. Yeah, let's put it at a mild to medium.
Okay.
Yeah, to be comfortable. I got nothing left to prove. I don't need to be cool anymore and try to chug a bottle of hot sauce. No way. Just a little bit is good for me.
Favorite phrase to say in the kitchen?
If the duck's hot, put it on the plate. If it's not hot, put it back in the oven and give me the sauce.
Okay, I'm gonna end it with that. Fantastic job. Cheers. Thank you
Cheers.
so much for having me.
Thank you. Really appreciated it. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.